Hi, my name is Fabio Carvajal. I I grew up in Cali, Colombia, and my process started with colonization when I was in elementary school. I remember that I had to participate in a representation of the Spanish conquerors. I I had to be like Christopher Columbus, and show the, the adventurous uh, discovery of America, and it was a romantic way to show things. It was the perspective of the colonizers that bring civilization to society, to the indigenous communities, and that's the teachings that we received. And I remember that that was the first approach that I had with colonization in my mind, that Europeans were civilization, were the civilized, and the indigenous were the savages. Uh, the Europeans, the conquerors, were the superior, uh, sophisticated, and the indigenous were not non-sophisticated, and that was kind of like the dynamic that I started receiving when I was a kid, and then I had another angle, another perspective when I was in my house. My mom, uh, my mom. I remember that she listened to indigenous music, like from a radio station, like a public radio station. Um, so I just was amazed by the beautiful sounds, and it was like, wow, indigenous culture is cool. Uh, then in after finishing high school, I I read a book. The the book is called The Open Veins of Latin America, and this book describes the toxic dynamic between uh, the conquerors and the indigenous, or in this process of colonization. I mean, so in other words, it was like an eye opening. I saw all these atrocities and the abuse and the injustice and the dominance and the exploitation of the natural resources, exploitation of people. So it was hard to realize, to confront. It was a challenge to confront myself with another perspective, and intellectually I I think I changed from that moment, and I started looking for more information in that regard. And then emotionally, my seeing that injustice, or realizing about the injustice, I could I could feel pain and I just started thinking like the history is not fair when ignores the ethnicity and the indigenous communities and the culture and the real process behind colonization. So I started the process to decolonize my mind, and later on, for personal reasons, I came to Canada, and being here opened my mind even more to more cultures, more diversity, and I remember being in a lake by myself, just alone, and it was so relaxing. I felt so much peace that day. I was just looking the nature, looking the forest, the squirrels, and I had a moment of revelation, I can say. It was a revelation because back when I was in Colombia, like the idea of being spiritual was related to being in church or be religious, and that day when I was here in Canada in the lake, I felt so connected with a source of power. I felt this spirituality, and I realized that we have this connection, the connection with the earth, with the land, with the rivers, and that's actually the reason why I'm here, next to the river. Hopefully the sound is gonna be good, and I started like a healing process, far from industrial city, far from stress, and I know that it's a complex process. Decolonize my mind, my spirit, and my body, because we live in a world that is dynamic, and we receive things from different sources, and it's a complex process to be aware. But I think right now I am in a time that it's more decolonization than colonization. So hopefully I'll be in the future in a better position or a better place in terms of decolonization. So thank you, and I hope the sound is good, is appropriate, and thank you for listening.